All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another blockchain news video. Today, we have blockchain news number 19 to get us started and going into the Friday. We're going to be ending the week here strong. Today, we have Bitcoin at $9,779, Ethereum at 218, up 3.2%. XRP, it's currently at 28 cents. Bitcoin Cash 439, Bitcoin SV 288. Actually, Bitcoin SV has had a pullback of negative 5.19%. So currently Bitcoin is looking really well. Ethereum had a up at 3%, and the rest of the market is looking both green and red. We have some pullbacks, nothing too crazy here. XRP in the red, but just under a percentage. BSV is the one that looks like the highest pullback in the top 10 coins. And the rest of the market, honestly, is not looking bad at all. Just some small percentages. The ones that do have pullbacks, we have Link up 13%. That's a good run up for those that did make some money on that. Congratulations. And everybody else that is holding on strong, or Bitcoin, and getting ready for that 10K mark, congratulations, because it looks like it couldn't be any closer. We have BNB up 9%, near almost $22. So BNB has made quite a run up in this past few weeks, so that's good to see. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the news. So first up, we have China's coronavirus whistleblower is now memorialized on Ethereum. So somebody went ahead and put a contract together, a smart contract on Ethereum, to show the source code for the monument contract. And it's just going to give a biography of Dr. Li in Chinese with a highlighted rest in peace for his contribution as a medical expert, because he was actually the first one to alert others of the danger of the virus as early as December 30th. So that's actually very good. Something that you can do in blockchain is to be able to put information that, of course, can't be changed or deleted. So that's going to serve as proof for his achievements. And it's kind of a big deal because in China, when this was pushed up and it became one of the top trending topics on Weibo, it was actually pushed down a 7th position and moved all the way out of the trending in minutes, because it seemed like it was trying to be silenced. So even though hashtag Dr. Li Wenliang passed away and so on and so forth were still trending, his story was not. So just wanted to share that with you guys, that's going to be on the blockchain on Ethereum, and his story will always be remembered on how he was reprimanded and silenced by police for alerting them of the coronavirus, and he had actually contracted it while treating a patient at the Wuhan Central Hospital, and he died of the disease after efforts to treat him. So yeah, guys, it's crazy how early we can find out about things that could affect so many later on in the world, and people just don't pay attention. Next up, we have ICO. New acquisition opens $1 trillion market for Bakkt. Bakkt acquisition of a loyalty rewards company will expand Bakkt's presence across an asset class that today spans over $1 trillion in value. So it seems like it wasn't just Bakkt's move to get into Bitcoin and have a custody regulated solution. They also wanted to get into the consumer's hands, and that's how they're going to be doing it here with this new partnership and acquisition here. Actually, acquisition with Bridge.2 or Bridge2 Solutions. So essentially, this is going to get them in the hands of more than 4,500 loyalty and incentive perk programs that Bridge2 was already supporting. And that's going to allow for people to be able to receive some kind of rewards to include airline miles, hotel points, and stuff like that. And that's kind of what ICE is looking at for Bakkt, not only as their custody solution for Bitcoin, but also how they want to tap into consumers' hands, and they want mass adoption for their application. So this is very exciting, seeing ICE pull the strings here in the background, how they initiated their move into cryptocurrency and how they're trying to scale out and provide more products. So I'm very excited to see how this is going to play out. I want to see how I can possibly earn some airline miles, hotel points, and stuff like that, right, off of this new acquisition. And moving further along, we do have that Bakkt is anticipating to launch the app later in the first half of 2020. So keep an eye open for that. Obviously, we're going to be covering that here when it launches. Next up, we have SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce proposing a 3-year safe harbor period for crypto token sales. So I saw this making rounds on Twitter. I think this is a very good thing. It's going to work in two ways. It's going to initiate a good faith kind of deal with projects that have not demonstrated any form of fraud or illicit transactions, anything illegal, right? Where the SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce is stating that legitimate projects are going to have a shot at success, and they'll have about 3 years to get on their feet, where they have a grace period from their token sale to achieve a level of decentralization sufficient to pass through the agency securities evaluations, to include the Howey test, which is used by the Supreme Court in the US. So the analysis of whether a token is offered or sold as a security is not static and does not strictly adhere to the digital asset. So it's interesting to see how from the beginning of January, we get all this push of interest in blockchain, crypto, and now we're getting big wigs, right? We're getting big people, even though we know Hester Pierce is known as Crypto Mom, and she has been pushing, everybody in the SEC to take more acceptance into crypto. Having her propose these kind of ideas where there's a 3-year safe harbor is a really big thing, guys. So think about how slow things can move politically. So this is going to make the rounds in the news, and it's getting support of a lot of the people in the crypto community. So right now, she's saying that we've had projects like EOS, for example, that were actually security when they were ERC20 tokens, but when they transitioned into the EOS mainnet, those coins were considered not securities, and that took place over a period of time. So she did use that example. She's stating that application of the federal security laws to these transactions frustrates the network's ability to achieve maturity and prevents the transformation of the token sold as a security to a non-security token functioning on the network. So we're not going to be seeing this apply to older coins or tokens, right? So people like, or projects like Telegram's Ton blockchain and Kick, they're currently, they're going back and forth with the SEC, and that will kind of continue. There's no promise on the older ones, but moving forward, any new initial development teams will have that 3-year period where they can try to achieve that network maturity and achieve not having a single entity control the project or blockchain. So that's going to be pretty good, guys. That's honestly good news moving forward. Gives a lot of people a little bit more certainty to get started on their own projects. They are admitting that the liquidity condition may surprise observers of SEC staff positions in which attempts to facilitate secondary trading. So even though a coin or a token may not be deemed a security just yet due to this grace period, transacting it, of course, can be something that can become an issue. But under the safe harbor that she is proposing for the 3-year period, that secondary trading will be deemed necessary. So very forward thinking, guys. This is very big stuff going on early in 2020, especially regarding this political side of things. So it's going to be in good faith, like I stated, and people that were already bad actors in the space are now going to be permitted this safe harbor period. And they're obviously going to keep an eye out for all the crypto scams and all that stuff because they're pretty aware. So it seems like they finally got caught up to date. Hester Pierce is not pulling back any punches. She's going all in with the ideas of getting crypto moving forward. Also, we have Blockstack's new consensus mechanism creating new use cases for Bitcoin. So Blockstack is stating that their blockchain is going to be coming out soon, and it's going to have a 2.0 version. It is going to be a decentralized web startup, and it's going to have a new way to bring a new use case for Bitcoin. So STX tokens are needed to participate in the chain. You have to hold an equivalent of about 10K USD, or you can get together with other groups to be able to lock up your XTS tokens and receive Bitcoin that will be distributed among the people that are stacking it together. This new consensus model is considered a proof of transfer versus using something like a proof of stake, where the assets needs to be locked up at risk to participate. This proof of transfer is just locking up your STX tokens, which is the token that's going to be used on their blockchain. And that their blockchain is actually built on Bitcoin. So the cool thing is that they are just accepting outright that what people want is Bitcoin. So you will get to earn Bitcoin for locking up your STX. And then, of course, you have to decide if holding more STX will earn you more Bitcoin, depending on market movements and stuff like that. But this is pretty interesting idea. I don't know how it's going to play out just yet. Right now, they are explaining some of the other benefits from this mining model versus what we have seen already. And once 20 miners activate the new version of the software, the Blockstack 2.0 will go live. So it seems like it could happen pretty quickly. And they're stating that they don't need to ever migrate from Bitcoin. And it comes from the idea that Bitcoin can serve as that main chain. And all we need to do is give it pretty much, arms and legs for it to do other things like smart contracts and other things that we've seen on other blockchains. So let's see how this project is going to play out, and if this new use case can deem a good use case for new miners. Next up, we have Catalonia is moving to achieve digital independence using blockchain. So basically, they stated that blockchain tech provides an opportunity for them to establish a model of self-sovereign identity, and that's what they want. So they're building around that, and they don't want the monopoly of identity to be exclusive to the state. They don't want their citizens to feel like they're living in Big Brother's state. And their next goal is to make Catalonia a high-tech hub. So kind of what we've seen from other smaller places, right, that they want to be able to have that first push into blockchain, into cryptocurrency, proper regulations that don't make people feel suffocated or companies suffocated, right? And then that way we can see some technological advancements. So actually, something that was worth of note was they are working with the tech centers and the universities to try to change their education system in order so that in 10 years' time, citizens are getting very competent in terms of those technical skills. So pretty good news here, 10 years that would put them at 2030 for their education system. So that's very good. Open positions in Bakkt's Bitcoin futures jumped to record highs. So just a quick article here explaining how volumes have, gone up. Even though CMEs have been essentially leading, we're now seeing open interest on Bakkt rising by a lot. So we got about 13.6% over the past 2 weeks. And the CME's Bitcoin futures also jumped to a 5-month high of 249 million on Wednesday, which is up about 34.5% over the last 2 weeks. So, and it seems like it's looking pretty good for Bakkt's Bitcoin options trading and the CME. So moving along, we have the U.S. Navy bets 9.5 million on blockchain to keep messaging secret. So a startup called Simba Chain received a 9.5 million for an installation of a secure messaging system for the Department of Defense. So that is kind of a big deal here. The U.S. is going to be taking advantage of this. Their platform is going to be up this year, and they plan to have updates over the next 4 years. And essentially, they just want to have a secure messaging system on the DoD. So that's going to spread out, I believe, over other U.S. military, not only just the Navy. And we've actually seen Simba Chain work with the U.S. military back in August 2019 with the U.S. Air Force. And they had a blockchain-based supply chain back then. So that'll be interesting. They have more contracts coming up. They're going to be announcing more in the spring, and they plan to deliver a platform bulletproof that meets all objectives. So that's going to be pretty cool to see how that's going to play out. Next up, we have London startup uses artificial intelligence for OTC Bitcoin trades. So now people over the counter are going to be able to see how AI can work better than human brokers over the long term, right? For Bitcoin USD trading solutions. If the trial seems to work pretty well, they're going to support traditional markets. And that being said, this approach can unlock tremendous potential in OTC trading. So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out. We'll be hearing more as this gets pushed out. India's first IEO gives the local community a much needed breath of fresh air. So we know that India has been big on the whole blockchain idea, but they have pushed back against cryptocurrencies. But actually, we did have the Wazir X or WRX was the first IEO from any Indian exchange, and it was pushed through Binance, and it has done pretty well. So that is very good news for the crypto space. We also are seeing morale as a whole in the Indian crypto ecosystem receive a boost, even though they had a lot of restrictions, especially during these last 2 years and the bear market. Right now, they're saying that many countries banking is an issue, or banking APIs are slow and expensive. So Wazir X peer-to-peer platform is going to be trying to solve that in those countries and solve crypto trading related problems. So that's going to be good. We're going to be seeing more projects getting listed in India. It seems like they're going to be opening up. They're going to be taking back the reins on how hard they were pushing on crypto, and they're going to try and welcome new players. So again, each country just trying to expand, each country trying to get new people to get involved and do crypto in their space. We also had the Singaporean crypto exchange ZebPay resume their services in India. So that's also very good news, guys. Tax-friendly St. Kitts and Nevis approves progressive crypto bill, lenient capital gains exemption. So this is an island country located in the West Indies. But the big thing here, guys, is they're legalizing digital currency assets like Bitcoin Cash, and they're going to be putting down some regulations. So they're going to obviously take everybody into consideration. Everybody has to be subjected to registration and supervisory regime. But that's just kind of part of the whole government idea, right? Also, if you hold an asset of cryptocurrency within 1 year of acquisition, no capital gains is levied in the federation. So you don't have to pay any capital gains if you hold it for more than a year period. If you hold it for less than a year, it's going to be subject to a 20% capital gains tax. So that's going to be at this specific location. So if you're somebody that's holding on to crypto for a while, this may be something worth looking into, guys. Next up, we do have Chinese crypto mine stop or stall operations due to coronavirus outbreak. So the outbreak continues, and it's now starting to really affect mining farms, it seems like, in the remote region of China. So we have one report coming out of that, and the government's just, telling businesses that they can't go to work because they're trying to cut down on the spread of the virus. So currently, Bitcoin is, less than 100 days away. Bitmain, Canaan, and MicroBT have published notices on their websites that delays in their after-sales services until February 10th. So that's going to be affecting Bitcoin miners from China's area. And some crypto people are believing that this could trigger some serious price action on Bitcoin, especially because this outbreak is kind of overlapping with the Bitcoin halving event. So if those miners are not in place, even if the difficulty goes down just a bit, that's going to allow for other people to have opportunity. And guess what? The price may go up. So, it does suck that this is how things are playing out with the coronavirus, but it seems to be having some other effects for other people. Next up, we have TradeLens agreement pending decision by the FMC, the U.S. Federal Maritime Commission, that they had put in place. They had put in place an act in 1984 in regards to transportation of cargo, setting rules in regards to that they have to oversee anything that does come in and come out, of course, of the U.S. So now they're going to be applying a blockchain initiative on top of this act that is going to allow people to share, or companies to share data that are working with the cargo and transportation within the U.S. and outside of the U.S. to do business easier. They're going to be able to, not have to deal with such high fees, rates, and terms and conditions can be promised to customers. So this is going to be working through 5 different major cargo transport companies. These are coming from France, Germany, Denmark, Switzerland, and Singapore. If it is successful in the implementation of the agreement, the companies will continue sharing blockchain data related to cargo transportation between one another. So that's going to be pretty good. We know the benefits of blockchain, how they could apply here. We're going to see unnecessary holdups, documenting mix-ups, and other issues are going to be resolved and nullified by the blockchain platform. So That's pretty good news. Again, another way that the US is implementing blockchain. They are accepting blockchain, guys. They are moving forward. DLT goes viral as live coronavirus tracking spreads to the blockchain. So now there is a way to visualize where the coronavirus is moving in real time, and it's on the blockchain. It's immutable, so nobody can, silence it or try to censor the data. It's being built on Hashlog. It's using a real-time visualization of the coronavirus data and trends, and that's being built on top of Hedera Hashgraph. I've heard of this project before. Haven't really been one to care too much for it, just because it kind of seemed different to what cryptocurrency was, but it does kind of leverage that distributed ledger technology. So the big takeaway here, guys, is just that real-time information is available to the public. They have some information here on how many are confirmed, where it's spread by country, which countries have the most, recovery by infections, so percentages and stuff like that, death by infections out of 100, people recovered, and of course, total deaths. So something that you can use to keep track of where the virus is spreading to. And last up but not least, we have Warren Buffett is getting his first Bitcoin from Tron's Justin Sun. He, of course, Justin Sun loves to be the center of attention, so he went ahead and tweeted that out, letting people know that Warren Buffett was gifted his first Bitcoin by Justin Sun. So Warren Buffett isn't the fan of Bitcoin. He does know that his companies that he is invested in do move into the blockchain space and do enjoy. Some of them might enjoy Bitcoin, like JP Morgan and stuff like that. They are working in the crypto space, but he went ahead and received it from Justin Sun. He also did receive some TRX, and it just so happened that the market went green, and Warren Buffett technically has increased his portfolio off of that single Bitcoin by 16% for that amount. He showed Warren Buffett the collaboration he has with Samsung Mobile on the Fold app and how to transfer TRX from one another. He did make that transaction, and Warren Buffett stated that he was pretty impressed. Or actually, Justin Sun says that he was impressed. So take that with a grain of salt. But in any case, he made a joke at the end stating that he told Warren Buffett that Bitcoin is the currency for the next generation. And Warren Buffett smiled and laughed and said, "I'm sure my grandson would rather inherit my wealth in USD." So they're going to sit back down in 2030, and we are going to see just how funny that statement that Warren Buffett made really is, because we all know where Bitcoin is headed, guys. So that's going to be it for today's news. Go ahead and like the video if you enjoyed it. You can sub to my channel for more crypto news. We're going to be keeping it going daily throughout the work week, Monday through Friday. Leave comments down below so we can talk about some of the news that took place, and I'll see you guys on the next one.